June 24th is Abulfaz Elchibey's birthday. My guest is Sabit Bagirov, who has served and took an important position in the party run by Abulfaz Elchibey. Welcome to our studio. Thank you. You were Abulfaz Elchibey's friend. Can you tell me how was his friendship? How was his attitude towards his friends? As you know, the main thing for long-term and durable friendship is reliability and trustworthiness. So, he was a very reliable friend. If two friends always rely on each other in difficult situations, then they can be considered close friends. I'm very happy that, for a long time, I have had a close and healthy relationship with Abulfaz Elchibey. When having problems, he did his best and tried to help his friends, me and Najafov. He invited us to conversation after work, tried to help us to solve our problems. We had that kind of conversation both during his presidency and his stay in Kalaki and after returning from Kalaki. After that, I came to conclusion that he relied both on me and Najafov. Elchibey was the great leader of popular movement. However, he showed himself as a soldier of the nation. How would you evaluate your and Elchibey's role in this movement? What was the Elchibey's role in this movement? Of course, Abulfaz was the leader of popular movement, and majority of the people recognized him as a leader, and they were happy to be by him. Therefore, he was elected the head of Popular Front. Then, as a candidate of Popular Front, he was elected the president of the country. It's a pity the period of his presidency didn't last long, because during that period many plans must have been solved, and this was a big burden on the newly formed and young government. I'm really sorry for that. General Welton had a well-known statement. We made big mistake by expelling Soviet Union forces from Azerbaijan. Of course, you are one of the witnesses of events happened during that period. What was the cause of Soviet Union forces leaving Azerbaijan? How Azerbaijan, young and inexperienced country, had a victory over Russia. You know, Azerbaijan was very persistent in solving this problem, and as well as Russia's foreign policy conception was newly being formed. That is, they hadn't yet formed empire policy. Those 2 points, I consider that, were the main factors for successful result. Elchibey saw you as a leading person in the area of economy, because first you were public advisor, and then you became the president of state oil company, which is considered to be main strategical line of the country. What was Elchibey's economic policy? What did he promise and give to people? It is true that he relied on 2 persons in economic issues. One of them was me, the other was Vahid Akundov. We tried our best to carry out our tasks. During that period, a number of institutions such as Committee for Privatization of State Property, Land Committee, State Investment Committee were established. 2 laws were adopted on banking based on market economy principles. National monetary unit was put into circulation, and etc. However, some people within leading party didn't agree with those reforms, especially monetary unit. They stated that it was early to adopt those laws. The National Monetary Unit mandate was ordered at the end of 1991, and after Abulfaz Elchibey was elected president in August, if I'm not mistaken, and at that time I'm working as public advisor on strategic problems. At that time, me and Vahid Akundov ran the issues regarding economic reforms. Elchibey asked me to tell him if we are ready for adopting law on new currency mandate, and said that it's inevitable to use our national currency because the state had big debts. The population, state employees, pensioners needed social provision. State treasury was empty and people had to go to central bank in Russia in order to get money. At the same time, it's not true for independent country to go to another country and obtain amount of money from the bank. However, forming new currency demanded big will. This was not only economic but also political step, so big will is needed for that political step, and Abulfaz Elchibey was willing to take this step. Several politicians say that the main cause of his resign was his persistent oil policy. At that time, you were president of the state oil company. What was Elchibey's oil policy with Western oil companies? At first, I want to note that before I was public advisor on strategic programs in Azerbaijan Popular Front Party, I was appointed to his position at the end of June. However, in early September, as I was the only engineer economist among the party representatives, Abulfaz and other persons decided to appoint me as a president of oil company in order to control oil contracts. After that, I familiarized myself with the situation at oil company and made a report. At the end of the report, we discussed the main directions of principles of oil policy. They included elimination of reduction oil and gas production and stabilized production procedures. That was the first priority. The second priority was to confirm Azerbaijan State Oil Company with international standards, to prepare proposals about the company's shares. The third priority was to have negotiations with foreign companies and sign oil contract with them. Things were in order and we could sign contracts in September, October in 1993. In early June, we adopted a declaration on exploitation of 3 oil fields, Azeri, Chirag and Güneshli. The declaration was adopted by Directors' Council of the State Oil Company and it was a very important decision. I must say that the terms of the next contract were also reflected in these documents. However, Azerbaijan wanted to control over that declaration and wanted to get 51% share of that contract. It's wrong information. In fact, the share of State Oil Company was 30%. The leading role of the State Oil Company was mentioned in this declaration. In the next years, the State Oil Company's share began to reduce for several reasons. 10% share fall into Russia's Lukoil company because they promised to defend Azerbaijan's concerns about Karabakh problem in the government of Russia and will help to solve that problem. But unfortunately, the problem was not solved. Then 10% was given to Turkey, 5% by companies in Turkey and 5% by Epson company. Thus, Azerbaijan couldn't take the leading position. However, today, according to the terms of oil contracts, all the important decisions are confirmed by State Oil Company of the Republic of Azerbaijan before implementing them. Now, what's the government's, the nation's attitude towards Elchibey's family? I carried out a little survey in Facebook and revealed that millions of people was happy about birthday of Elchibey and they memorized him with great respect. I'm really worried that the government continues to show negative attitude towards him. At the same time, I know that there are a number of people who is in sympathy with him. However, I cannot understand why government has negative attitude towards him. Abulfaz Elchibey did his best to serve his nation, his country, and this must be appreciated. And I am sure that sometime all the people will appreciate his activities. There is one point that during the presidency of Abulfaz Elchibey, people have the feeling of nationalism. All the Turkish people wanted to unite together. There was no self-satisfaction among people. However, it increased now. Also, we can see self-satisfaction among several followers of Elchibey. During that period, people was in high spirit, and the history shows that all nations live such moments, and those moments are not constant, and year by year, national concerns are replaced by personal ones. Thank you for coming to our program. My guest is Sabit Bagirov, who has served and took an important position in the party run by Abulfaz Elchibey.